Sir William Shakespeare's Othello is the original, and this is an inspired, tale from Othello, taking that as a central character, and picking on it, and trying to keep close to it, yet try to bring contemporary dimensions to a new story. Try to make it almost like the retelling of an old story in a completely new way. So the inspiration, the spirit of all the characters is generally borrowed from the original Othello, but the nuances, the different colors, the way you style each character, like in the way Othello is in his romantic, demeanor, the way Othello is in his anger, the way Othello is in his jealousy, in his confusion, the way Iago is in his menace, the way Iago's interpersonal relationships with all the other characters are. Even my own character, which is Kesu Firangi, and Kesu Firangi is originally Cassio, and I felt that Kesu had so many more colors and dimensions than the original. It was so much more exciting for me to play Kesu, because being Indian and having been exposed to a certain degree of the political mafia, having seen it from movies, read it in books, and read it in magazines, I know what it is like. It's more contemporary, it's more relatable. And then I see Kesu, and then I feel him. I feel the spirit having been borrowed from there, but all the ornamentation, all the nuances are new. The fact that Kesu just loves to play the guitar all the time. He's called Firangi because he's the only guy who can speak in English in the entire milieu. So in 1 minute he's speaking in Tate accent, really thick accent, and then the second moment he's got this American twang to him, and he's saying, I don't know, baby. He's talking like that. So it's a very interesting character. It suddenly stands out. It becomes Kesu Firangi. So it's like a whole new world, and I'm falling in love with him because I love his 350cc bullet that he rides on. He's a lone rider. I love the way he flirts with all the women. I love the way he has this strange, interesting relationship with Bilno Chaman Bahar Orchestra Wali. So there are these very interesting characters, and as you go along the film, they start to become larger than life, and they become almost legendary. Like I was shooting in Lucknow recently, and I was shooting at the university. I was riding around, and before you knew it, there was about maybe 2,000, 3,000 students that collected over there and started screaming, Kesu Firangi, Kesu Firangi. They started screaming, and Hamara Adhyaksh, Kesu Firangi, and stuff like that. So it was like almost like a political, because he is a political student leader in the film. So it was very exciting to see that kind of impact. So I feel that Kesu Firangi and Omkara and Langda Tyagi, these are characters that have the nuances to become legendary in their own way.
You identify with Kesu Firangi?
Yeah, in many ways. Yeah, I have been a part of student politics actively in Bombay University. I've been the General Secretary of Mitibai College, and then I was the General Secretary of Bombay University. I've headed the Students' Union for a whole year and a half, and I've been part of the Senate, the University Senate of Bombay University. So it's quite a deeply political exercise to be a part and associated with all of this. So I have seen student politics. I've seen it from the times where there were stabbings in colleges and drugs being peddled, to the times where the focus shifted from all of that into more of get out of here, get your SAT and TOEFL done, and go abroad and get a great paying job. So I've seen that transition. Yeah, so I've been exposed to that. From that perspective, yeah, Kesu and I identify. Besides that, I don't think there are many similarities. No, not really.
What is the most dashing thing about Kesu?
I think he's a very strong combination of somebody who's childlike emotional. He's pure emotionally. He's childlike. If he loves someone, he'll die for them. When Omi Bhaiya, as he fondly refers to Omkara, whenever he's there, he'll always bow in a sort of respect, and there'll always be this whole thing that if anybody has to touch Omi Bhaiya, he has to go through me first. So it's Kesu standing in the middle of anybody. He'd throw his life into danger to protect Omi. He'll jump at 6 men. He won't even think about it. Kesu's not somebody who will calculate that somebody has a gun in his hand or he might shoot me. He'll just, when he's in a temper, when he's in a rage, he'll fly at them and they won't know what hit them. It's like that. So Kesu's dynamic like that. When he's singing and dancing, then he's completely all out there. When he's romancing a woman, then he's completely all out there. He's all emotional. He's real. He's giving himself in every minute. Whether it's one extreme, which is the softness of romance with Bilno, whether it's the sensuality with her, or whether it's the respect and reverence for Omi Bhaiya, or whether it's the relationship with Indu Bhujai, which is Langla Tyagi's wife, which is Konkuna, whether it's that, it's a lot of love and emotion there. And when he's angry, when he's out there to go out and sock someone, then he's all out with that too. So he's a 100% character. He's an extreme character. He's very, very vibrant.
That's also a very strong character.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, that's what's different about him from the original Othello. Yeah. So that's what's different about him from Cassio and Othello is not as powerful and dynamic and exciting as this character. In fact, it's a very interesting story, an anecdote. Before this film was about to begin, and I was called by Kumarji and Vishal Bhai, ki, we want you to come and play this role. And I'd read Othello and I knew Cassio's character, and I said, they're principally just really two characters in Othello. There's Othello and Iago, that's it. So I went in to say no. I actually went in for a meeting to say no, we'll do something else some other time, this is not something I'm interested in. Then Kumarji convinced me and Vishal Bhai convinced me, listen to the story once. So I heard it and I was like, wow, it's such a good film, I have to be a part of this film. And I just loved the character. And as I started to play Kesu, the colors, the dimensions, the nuances started to come out, and I started loving him. I think we're coming close to the end of the film. I'm going to miss Kesu. He's quite entertaining a character. It's been fun playing him and being associated with Kesu.
Every character in the film has got a look.
That's right.
You also have a look.
That's right.
I believe you've lost a lot of weight also for the role. So how did you work on the look of Kesu?
Well, as far as losing weight and getting into shape was concerned, that was general, and it's been great fun because three men, working out of the gym together. It's been a lot of buddy kind of system. So it always encourages, Raju, I'm sorry, Ajay has been really close, and this is my 5th film with him, believe it or not. Out of the half of films I've done in my career are with Ajay. And Saif, it was an opportunity to meet the first time, so it was great. And all of us getting together, working out of the gym together, pepping up each other, going for runs together, having parties together. It's just been a really nice and warm experience, a very, very nice environment. And I must say about Ajay that I keep saying, in a very filmy way, I keep saying, "वो hero nahi hero hai," because he has this way of when he's there on a set, he has this way of bringing people together and making it a really warm and homely environment. And Seth's been rocking fun too, and really helped me out with the guitaring bits. So it's been good fun. Preparation for Kesu, I think Dolly Ahluwalia, who's a national award winner, designed the look and fought with me like crazy because she insisted I wear sweaters. See, Dolly ji, I'm not wearing a sweater now. Okay, she's gonna kill me for this. No, she designed a great, interesting look. She tried to make it very different from what I've done before. And what I loved about it was these, in hindsight, I don't know if she's gonna kill me for saying this, but I love the V-neck sweaters. These half-sleeve sweaters that she's given me, which I'm not wearing today because it's really warm, which killed me in the heat. I was baking in these sweaters, Dolly ji. But yeah, at the end, when I see the film, when I saw the rushes, looking really nice as a character. It gives a different character, it defines a different character. These little winter college sweaters, V-necks and all that. Very nice. Actually, I wouldn't like to perceive it as a confusion. Confusion is a negative word. I think it's a debate, and debates are always healthy, to have points of views and opinions. It's a very good sign that there's a debate and there are actually so many people thinking about a title, and the fact that it's so democratic, that everybody's opinion is being considered. ये बहुत हेल्दी चीज़ है, बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है कि इसके ऊपर इतनी विचार विमर्श हो रही है, क्योंकि एक इसका अलग मज़ा है, and you get associated with the film. Out of the 3 titles, O Saathi Re, Omkara and Isak, my personal favorite is Isak, because the minute you hear Isak, everybody says, Isak, what does it mean? मतलब क्या है इसका? And then you say Isak विsak का चक्कर है भैया, so you have that flavor. It tells you कि उस प्रांत की बात हो रही है. It tells you about from where the roots of this story are, where it's been based in UP, and it gives you a nice flavor. And I think a one-word title like Isak, which talks about an intense emotion like that, love, with so much attitude, with the backdrop of so much violence and the backdrop of, this whole political mafia setup would be very, very fascinating to me as an individual. So I'm a strong supporter of Isak. What I love about Isak is, from the moment I first heard it, from the moment I first read it, the script, it evoked such a tremendous emotional response from within. It made me feel that it was such an epic saga. It was such a larger than life film. It's such a big film in terms of emotions and interpersonal relationships between the characters. And these fine minor nuances are so well detailed. You start to feel by the end of the film that you know these people. इसको तो मैं जानता हूँ. और वो तो ऐसे करता है. You can probably ask 20 questions that are not answered in the script, and you would be able to answer them about a character. Like, we would be able to talk about it, And that happened on the sets. Many times you'd catch Saif and me discussing. So do you think Kesu would be like that? And Saif would be like, I think Langda would be, probably, in this way, in his relationship, on his demeanor towards this or that. So you had so many interesting nuances. I think it takes a journey into the minds of so many different characters, and then it brings it all into one story, weaves it all into one story, and culminates into such an interesting, beautiful manner. I mean, it's not a stereotype. It breaks so many norms and stereotypes, and that's what's so exciting. And yet it holds you. Yet it's quote unquote commercial. Yet it's, in my mind, it's so entertaining, and it's just good cinema.
That's the common feeling that comes across, right? Compared to you,
Yeah.
all of you are very charged up. You're
Yeah.
enjoying your role.
Exactly, yeah. Loving it. Like, that's what I said, I'm going to miss Kesu. I'm going to miss this set. I'm going to miss, this place. And it's just been such a fantastic experience. एक माहौल create करना होता है एक फिल्म अच्छी बनाने के लिए. I think उसमें पहले तो आपकी स्क्रिप्ट अच्छी होनी चाहिए, आपके co-stars अच्छे होने चाहिए. We've had all of that. We've got a great script. We've got a fantastic director who's got a very nice way of working and approaching, dealing with his actors. We've got great, senior stars in the film that are so accommodating and giving, and it's so nice. I mean, I know people personally. Like, I know Ajay personally for so many years now. I've known him from the moment I did my first film. I know how he gets about, night shooting, or I know how he starts getting, by the evening time. But there have been times where it's my scene, and I've been worried about, if he'll be okay or not okay, and he's been calm. He's been waiting for 8 hours to do his first shot, and that is really, really nice to see. That's basically because everybody is so inspired and charged that they don't mind. They feel something good is happening. Okay, don't disturb it. Let it happen. Okay, we'll wait. We'll be patient. And that's been the case with everybody. So you have the senior actors supporting. You have them rallying around, and then you've got Kumarji, who's turned out to be just this revelation of a producer. He's been fantastic. He hasn't let us know that the film is almost complete. 4th or 5th of April, in 2 weeks' time, the film will be complete, and I won't even know कि कब खत्म हुई, कब शुरू हुई, कब खत्म हुई. And every possible luxury, every possible comfort, every possible, precaution for safety has been taken care of. I was so worried about shooting in Prayag and, in Lucknow. Talks from different, departments कि आपको उठवा ले जाएंगे actors वगैरह को, कोई कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा. But it was like Kumarji had created a miniature army, basically, to protect all the actors and everybody. And the way he did it, the coordination was so great कि हम shooting खत्म करते थे, बोलते थे अरे यार अब मर गए, अब crowd आने वाला है ज़बरदस्त. 3-4 हज़ार, 5 हज़ार, 10 हज़ार लोगों की भीड़ इकट्ठा हुई थी. प्रयाग में तो I think it was more than that. It was 30-40,000 people जो इकट्ठे हुए हैं. And अब यहाँ से बाहर कैसे निकलेंगे? And there was a car ready. और कार जब बाहर निकली तो हम लोग बोला यार इतनी क्राउड है कहाँ से आगे निकलेगी. And then there were cops on either side. They had lined up the entire road all the way till the helicopter, and then we got into a helicopter. From there we were flown out. So it was so well planned and designed कि it felt like a movie in itself. कि कोई इतनी अच्छी organization कैसे कर सकता है. I mean, touch wood. Film has now come to an end. To have the vision to create this set, to have the vision to have such a sprawling set, to come on an empty patch of land, to acres and acres and acres of land, and then to create a set. I mean, when I drove first, to this shooting for the first time in January, मुझे याद है कि मैं ड्राइवर को कह रहा था कि चलिए आप वाई गांव चलिए और वहाँ से अंदर से यहीं कहीं रास्ता है. So as we started to approach, I said अच्छा ये तो गांव आ गया, अब सेट कहाँ है? And I'm looking for it, and I said अरे यहाँ तो वैन सब यहीं खड़ी हैं. दूर से मैंने देखा अरे ये सेट है, ये नहीं हो सकता सेट. And then I realized it was a set. from वहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक, what a beautiful set. To have the vision to create something like that, to have the guts to create something like that, it's just hats off, you know. Lagda Tyagi is not really tragic. I mean, I think he's beyond tragedy, beyond emotion, beyond pity. So I wouldn't consider him. I mean, he's as dark can be. He's as much of Lucifer as you can be. He's as much of Satan as you can be. I mean, he has no single agenda but destruction. You know, so that's a really dark character. So I think it's beyond an emotion, beyond feelings. I mean, he only could probably feel for himself, related to himself, and needs to see this destruction to be able to be entertained or to be able to go on with his mundane, boring life. Whereas I feel Kesu, while he has a really deep tragedy, because until the end of the film he's really honest and naive and innocent, and he's dedicated to Omkara and Omi Bhaiya. He will give his life for Omi Bhaiya, and yet, you know, Omi Bhaiya has, you know, cast doubts upon him and has you know, has aspersions on his character, has thoughts of, you know, him with, you know, Omi Bhaiya's wife to be, and that emotionally destroys Kesu. And what destroys him further is at points in the film he looks into Langda Bhaiya's eyes and he looks at Langda Bhaiya and says, "Tu hi mera ek acha dost hai, sacha dost hai." So there are moments where Kesu is so honest with Langda, with his love and devotion even to Langda and to Langda's wife. You know, there's such a relationship with them that for him to deal with that entire betrayal, you know, on all ends, is really painful. But I think the ultimate tragedy is Omkara's, because he's always been thirsting for love. He has always been searching for acknowledgement and acceptance and trying to get out of his Ada Baman, you know, social stigma and the whole social stigma of being a bastard son, you know, all of that, and just acceptance and love. And here is this beautiful girl from the city who, you know, is semi-educated and who is of a, you know, high caste and high upbringing and high society, and she falls for him head over heels, and he is so emotional and romantic about the whole thing. And then from there where it goes, you know, and until the end of the story where he basically loses everything. There's a beautiful line where he says that, you know, even if I get mukti from this sharir, man ko kahan se mukti milegi, is atma ko kahan se mukti milegi, you know. So there's a depth to that, you know. I think you know, Omi's character is the ultimate tragedy. The term commercial is used very loosely in our industry, you know, a commercial picture hai. I think until you have a Friday which determines whether it is commercial or not commercial, you don't know what's commercial and what is not. So many films have come that have been considered offbeat and RT, quote unquote, but they've come and, you know, ramped through the box office. You know, you had a film like Satya which came in and did a huge amount of business, you know, through the box office, but it would never have been termed commercial in any sense of the word. So what I like to judge movies by is it entertaining or not? Yeah, it's completely entertaining. This film for me is an awesome entertainer. It doesn't stop for a moment. It doesn't, you know, stop to breathe for a second. Even before you realize what's happening in one place, it's moved on to the next, it's moved on to the next. And there's so many interesting tracks that have been so well detailed, and to see them, you know, see them interweaving into the screenplay so beautifully, you know, seamlessly. That's what the magic of the screenplay of Vishal Bhardwaj is. Considering William Shakespeare himself is such a great, I mean, it's sacrilege to even try and compare something modern and new to, you know, something that's authentic and written so many years ago by someone who's considered such a father of literature. But keeping in mind the sacrilege, I would like to make the attempt to say that, yeah, I find this more contemporary, more relatable and more entertaining because it has many more dimensions and it comes as a story of today and not something that's hundreds of years ago that's difficult to relate to. That's what's exciting about this film.